I'm kind of a sucker for unique PC cases, whether it's my open frame case that I stole from HYTE X50, my server chassis that I'm currently in now, or that Tower 300 that I built in about a year ago. And these HYTE X50 cases are just up my alley. They come in 6 different colors, including this really bright candy red or this more matcha green, but that's not up my alley. We're gonna build in the pink color. But just because it's cute, does that mean it's easy to build in? That's the whole point of today. We're gonna find out. It's an ATX style case, meaning it's gonna be able to fit pretty much everything that you could want in here, whether it's a full-size GPU or even up to a 360mm radiator. Boop. Oh, I made the right choice. Oh, this looks so nice. I say that because some cases that have done fun colors like this in the past maybe only paint the front panel, or maybe they only paint the outside and then the interior is still like black or white or something. So seeing a fully painted chassis like this is why I'm super, super excited. Got the little feet on there. Actually, speaking of these feet, it's the same as the green one, but the red one are different. I don't know if that's a style choice or if that's a customization you get to make. Got our X50 and X50 Air manual. That's because you don't actually have to get it with the glass front here. You could get a full mesh, but come on, if you're buying a pretty case, you wanna see the parts inside, so we got the glass. Man, I got a big smile on my face, man. This looks so cool. Oh, that curved glass looks awesome. More and more companies have been doing this lately. I mean, Lee really popularized the kind of curved aesthetic when it had the 011 dynamic, except it wasn't curved, it was a 90-degree angle. And then as case manufacturers have been adopting that style, they've been modifying it. HYTE actually did one that had kind of a 45-degree angle at one point, and now I guess they're just embracing the curve and going full curve this way versus this way. One thing that might be controversial for you is the power supply is actually up top. Again, referencing the 011, for example, the power supply was actually kind of in the back here where you plugged in here, but that would make it quite a chunky boy. So instead of putting it at the bottom, they decided to put it up the top and then a color matched power supply shield here. I think it looks okay. A lot of meshing on the back and even more meshing on the front. So hopefully it means you'll get plenty of cooling, because on both of these sides here, you can fit up to 3 120mm fans. So I guess 6 120mm fans. And, this is exciting, here they are. You can get color matched ones to fit in your case. We're definitely gonna be putting these ones in. As for our front I/O, it's actually at the top here. We have a 3.5mm combo jack. We have one USB-C port, which is USB 3.2 Gen 2, and then we have 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports. It's not a ton, and I find it kind of weird that it's up top here. I mean, if you're going for an aesthetic build and you plug anything in, it's now gonna be like cables or big USB sticks pointing out the top. But if you're not plugging anything in and you just kind of want a nice glam shot at the front, keeps the front nice and clean, so to each their own. And then our power button as well, it's up there. Let's see how easy it is to take this bad boy. Oh, it slides up. Wow, that was very nice. No screws, completely toolless. That gives us access to the back here, which we can see all of our accessories and our cables for our front I/O. For cable management, you got just some Velcro straps, as well as these little rubber grommets to pass things through. This one does not slide up. This one just pops out, okay? Still toolless though. And that's the front I/O. Gives us access, and it looks like this whole chunk here is removable. So if you had a radiator installed, you could install it on here, and when you want to do your maintenance and clean it, couple screws, pop it out, give it a quick dusting, whatever, pop it right back in. And now how to remove the glass. Oh, that scared the hell out of me. Wow, that gives you quite a lot of room to build in, except for this, which, oh, it looks like it can be removed. Okay, that's good. Because if you're plugging in like your CPU power cables right near the top here, that might get in the way. But if this can also just be thrown out of the way while you're plugging it in, it's good to me. One more thing I'm noticing in here is the labeling on all of the motherboard standoffs. That's really nice. Depending on which size motherboard you're going with, it'll clearly tell you which standoffs to use. The only problem I could notice is if you're going with a small board, like the smallest, for example, you're gonna notice all the labelings just being left out here. You can't really cover them. You'll want to use like maybe a vertical GPU to cover the labeling. I don't know, if you're using a case this big, you should just use the whole case though. Get a full-size ATX board. Oh, I guess it's time to get building, but not before we tell you about our sponsor.
Thanks to MSI for sponsoring this video. Get an ultra smooth and powerful portable gaming experience with their Crosshair 18HX AI laptop. Powered by an RTX 5070, you'll be marveled by crystal clear and fluid visuals coming from its 18-inch 240Hz QHD Plus display. A 24-zone RGB keyboard illuminates your space in a way that screams, yeah, I'm a gamer, and with the ability to crank out 170 watts of power thanks to their overboost technology, it scoffs in the face of CPU and GPU intensive games. Check it out today using our link in the description.
We're gonna be doing a full-size build because, like I said, I wanna take full advantage. So ATX size motherboard, a pretty big size GPU. We're also gonna go with, an air cooler. It's not the biggest air cooler that we could probably fit in here, but it matches our theme of white and pink. And I know I mentioned we could do an AIO or some sort of radiator mounts. I didn't actually clock it until we started building. There's no top mounted radiator support or fan support at all. So it means all of your exhaust is gonna have to probably come out the back, I assume, and maybe it'll catch heat, but also your power supply is up here. It will help exhaust heat as well, so. And since it has to exhaust all the heat out the back, there's actually quite a lot of ventilation. Even the PCIe slots are quite open. So even though we're only putting one fan here, it should hopefully get all of the heat out with ease. But we need to build the PC first, so let's get building. I was just pulling out the screws here to figure out how to mount the motherboard. Each little baggie is labeled. You got your power supply, you got your motherboard and 3.5 hard drive, and a 2.5 SSD. That is a very nice touch. Thank you, HYTE. Motherboard's in. Actually, my concern earlier about plugging in these CPU powers might not be valid. It seems like there's actually a decent amount of room to get in there. I think I'm gonna install my fans next. We have 6 of the pink ones. Should we just do no exhaust and these front 6? What do you think, audience? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, it's a 4-pack. Oh, okay, never mind, we can put one in the back. So we'll still put 3, 3, 1 in the back, and then we'll have 1 more. We're not gonna do 1 more because it's gonna look really asymmetrical at the bottom, and I don't like that. I've run into this a couple times with some aesthetic cases. I think this is supposed to be an intake, right? Maybe you can tell me I'm wrong. Which means I would need to put the fan this way. That's the ugly side in, right? I want the aesthetic side on the inside because that's where I'm looking. But then that means it's an exhaust. So if I make this one an intake, or they're both exhausts now, so where's my just make them both look the same on either side, or make them reversible. It's really frustrating. Or, hear me out, intake on the bottom. That's still the wrong way. All of my fans are in now. It doesn't look as bad as I thought. I think the white cables I'm gonna call aesthetic. I think I would prefer it the other way still. Now it's time for, what should we pick? Power supply or GPU next?
Power supply.
We'll do power supply. We'll do, cut that. I know this is a white and pink power supply. How close of a pink is it? The cables are not that close. That is close enough for today. Plus, you don't end up really seeing it anyways. It's all tucked away in the back, so that's fine. Let's get it all wired up. Once it's in there, it looks like a lot closer than I thought. All right, these cables actually add a lot. I think it looks really good. Time for our GPU. Of course, we had to go with a pink GPU. Well, white GPU with pink aesthetics, I guess. Oh, this is gonna look so good. This is definitely the strangest PCIe covers, but again, I guess it's lots of ventilation. It's still pretty strong, even though it's basically nothing there. Oh no, I scratched it a tiny bit. The knurling on the screwdriver. You know what? We need to get rid of these now. Go to ltcstore.com, buy them all so I don't use it anymore. There we go. I just did some basic cable management in the back using some of the Velcro ties as well as just some of the tie down points. It's not the best, but there is still a ton of room behind the motherboard tray. So if you wanted to be lazy, you could just throw it all back there and then just slide this bad boy over top. And because the mesh is pretty dense, you can't actually, well, don't look too close. You can't really see through it. All right, let's turn this bad boy on. Nope, I just realized I didn't hook up any of the front panel. Time to turn it on. Well, it boots. That's kind of cool. The power button is okay. It's kind of just like a lighter pink. Look at that. You're probably hearing the fans. They're not tuned, so they're just going full burr right now as the computer's kind of booting, but wow, this is a very pretty PC case. It was very easy to build in. I think my biggest gripe is by far the fans. And I don't know if that's a mark against the case or the fans then, because you can't flip them around. But I think the parts we chose really complemented this case. And I think you could probably pick even better parts if you spent more time looking for complementary whites together and complementary pinks. I don't know, I really like this case. Now the question, is it worth the $160 price tag? That's gonna be up to you if you really want this aesthetic, or I guess any of the other colors that they offer. You could get the full mesh version if you want, which is $30 cheaper, and then a pack of those fans, which is 4 fans, is $50 US. You know, I've seen 4 fans be more expensive from someone like Corsair, but those ones are RGB. These ones are kind of just plain matching of the color of whatever case you get. I don't know, which color would you guys get? Let me know down below, and maybe what theme you'd build in it. I almost want to do an Iron Man theme in that red. I think it would look really cool. If you guys enjoyed this video, go check out the first case I built in, which was the Tower 300 by Thermaltake. I think that one might still be my favorite PC case, even though this is a nicer pink.